2020 was boy. That was the bullseye of COVID. It was about the fall of 2020.
I will point out that I have COVID in my house right now, and I wash my hands every 30 seconds.
I don't blame you. Say, this just occurs to me. This adds to the argument, Reavers. Wait a minute. Under the Department of Wait a Minute.
Is that our new?
Harris got a little more than 68 million votes this year.
Okay.
Trump got a tad more than 72 million votes. In 2020, a COVID election year,
Yep.
Biden got more than 81 million votes. Trump got about the same number as he did this year, 74 million.
That's weird.
There's about a 20 million vote swing here. Where did those people go?
Well, that is odd.
They didn't vote. What I don't understand.
Why not? Why not?
If
they turned out
engaged?
in a COVID year, but they didn't turn out this year?
Think of what was going on in 2020 politically.
Yeah.
Anything stranger than what was going on this year?
Yeah, yes, much stranger.
How?
Well, he was, number one, Donald Trump was an incumbent at that point. And so your forces against him were obviously more unified and more engaged to go vote. He was not an incumbent this year. And I think perhaps people... Yes, go ahead.
Couldn't you draw some connection between Harris, merely the stand-in Biden incumbment?
Yeah.
Let me try to help the group.
Okay, then where did the 20 million people go?
Well, I don't.
It's easy.
It's
easy.
what
Chris,
percentages? I
first.
still can't find what percentage.
Here's what I'd like to do for the group. I have the entire presidential election numbers, vote numbers right in front of me. I can go back into the 1800s if you want.
I don't want to go back to the 1800s.
I have all of them in front of me.
All right.
2024, Trump got 72.1 million votes. Harris Walz got 67.3. In 2020, Biden got 81.2. Trump got 74.2, meaning he had 2 million more votes in 2020 than he did on Tuesday. In 2016, Trump got almost 63 million. Hillary got 65.8. So there was a gigantic spike in voter turnout in 2020.
How many votes did Hillary get in 2016?
62.9. Sorry, Hillary got 65.8. Trump got 62.9.
What is any of that proving?
Well,
just saying that there was a lot more people that voted in 2020 than did in either 16 or 24.
All right. I have the simple answer.
What?
Nobody liked either candidate. They stayed home.
Oh,
there's the simple answer right there.
20 million?
I mean, Joe, 6 months ago, I said to you, why even bother to vote? And you hemmed and hawed for 30 minutes about whether or not you were going to vote or not. And I think it came from the heart. I don't think you were BSing us.
My favorite excuse from the completely insane news gatherers and some of these talk shows, my favorite excuse for Harris failing is she didn't have enough time to campaign. It's my favorite excuse because they're the same people who insisted that Biden was fit as a fiddle until they saw him in the debate in June and realized they can't sell that anymore. It even included, during the campaign, Harris being asked, what do you think the condition of Joe Biden is? And she said during the campaign, in which she's now the presidential candidate, said, I'm in meetings with Joe Biden all the time. He is just sharp as a tack. He's just, and the question, I think it was CNN or CBS, it was one of the legacy media, said to her, then why are you running? And she had no answer.
Right.
She couldn't answer that question. She couldn't say because I was part of the coup that dumped him. then
Joe,
why
I
are
may
you
have-
running? So the same people that wanted to sell us on the idea that there's absolutely nothing wrong with Biden are now the same people, telling you that one thing that burdened Harris was she didn't have enough time to campaign. It's
that's
utter
dumb.
BS. Can we get back to... You guys can dismiss it if you want. I'm not. 20 million
How about-
Dem
how about-
voters
how about
are
some-
missing.
How about some stats? You want some stats?
Yeah.
Exit polls this year. Is this the first year you have ever voted? Democrats, 45% said yes. In 2020, 64% of Democrats said yes, this is the first time they've ever voted. I think that alone answers the question, but that's just me.
Then why were there 20 million fewer if that was the very first time that they voted?
Because
They voted presumably for Biden in 2020.
Well,
Sure,
John just said they
certainly.
were Democratic voters.
Okay. Were they so confident this year that Harris would beat Trump that they didn't bother to vote?
I think it's a combination of perhaps that and what Kenny said, that they weren't engaged enough to really give a, well, can't say the word I was thinking there, but
I thought it was the most important election of our lifetime. And 20 million people didn't show up who showed up 4 years ago.
yeah, and statistically,
I don't.
yeah,
You're not
go
being
ahead.
true to yourself, Joe.
The hell I'm not.
You,
What?
For the
Can you
last
spell it
6
out for me?
for the last 6 months, you've been bitching about our choices, and you had a hard time figuring out. Well, you knew who you weren't going to vote for, and it was the top 2 candidates. I think you're going back on what you've been saying the last 6 months, Joe. I think it was the worst election, worst choice, worst everything we've ever seen in this country.
I've never denied that, and I don't deny it today. It was the worst presidential choice to make in
Since
certainly-
2020.
in certainly my lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, but
And why won't you accept that that's why everybody stayed home, or these 20 million at least stayed home?
if it was 20,000, I could see it, or 5 million. But 20 million?
What
20
percentage is
million?
that? I cannot find that. What
The
percentage?
percentage of the electorate?
Yes.
Well, how
I
many
bet it's-
eligible voters are there in the United States?
Why does that matter, John? What are you trying? What?
Okay.
what
In 2020, 66% of the electorate voted. Okay. In 2020.
Okay.
So that 20 million is going to drop that maybe to what? 60?
Oh, I see what you're trying to get at. All right.
Okay, you can think, the listeners can think whatever they want about my feelings to Trump, but I'm going to add this to the mix. I think that, let me put it this way. All those Secret Service agents that are still in St. Paul protecting this tub of goo governor,
I drove by
he
today.
is.
It's thinning out. It's thinning out.
I would
Joe's here.
assign them. I would assign them to bolster Trump's security. Is that how I would put it? Rather than sounding terribly out there, I would say let's bolster. No matter how you think I feel about him, let's bolster Trump's security right now. Right now.
Don't they have to?
Well, take all these people still protecting flannel shirt goo and take them and fly them to Mar-a-Lago and put them on extra perimeter duty for Trump.
Why are you saying that?
Because
Do you have
I
a
don't
feeling
trust
here?
anything anymore. I don't trust anything anymore. I don't care what statistics you're throwing at me. Here's something. Trump has 34 federal felonies. Do you know we should have reviewed this. They all stem from essentially a bookkeeping error. How did a bookkeeping error, whether it was intentional or not, a misdemeanor, become 34 federal felonies? As George Will said, Letitia James created the loaves and fishes from a single misdemeanor.
That's a good line.
She
That's a
created
good line.
to 34 federal felonies.
I can tell you the answer I can tell you what everybody's saying.
Well, I know what everybody's saying.
Okay, well, I don't know anything beyond
And
that.
remind me,
Can I go back to bolstering Trump's security?
please.
Yeah.
There must be. See, I'm of the belief, and I've learned that during this election cycle. I'm of the belief that we really don't know who's running anything. That's my bedrock belief. We don't know who's running this country. We don't know what plans they have for this country. And my belief would then necessarily follow that I don't trust whatever's happening. And all I'm saying is I would get these people who are just eating Cheetos down there at Governor Goo's place and move them into a position where they might be of help.
To the point where, did any of you catch Kamala's concession speech yesterday?
I did not.
Well, I'll just play this for you. Her video was compared to what Hillary said in 2016.
Yeah.
And I think it's worthy of 90 seconds of our time.
All right.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for.
This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard for.
Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition.
Last night, I congratulated Donald Trump and offered to work with him on behalf of our country.
Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background.
We've spent a year and a half bringing together millions of people from every corner of our country to say with one voice that we believe that the American dream is big enough for everyone.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed.
It's even big enough for
But
men
please
who
know it's going to be
menstruate.
okay.
To the young people in particular, I hope you will hear this.
On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while.
I don't need to hear anymore. I get
That-
the point. They said the same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how I can fit that into my desire for more security for Trump.
Okay.
No, but it plays into who's running the
We
country.
don't know. I
Okay.
do not know who's running this
Okay,
country.
why are you saying those two things side by side? Why are you saying you're worried about Trump's safety and you also don't know who's running the country? What point are you trying to make here? I feel like there's a point in there that you're afraid to just come out and say. What's going on?
I believe who's ever running the country will eliminate Trump.
Oh, okay. Now that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, and it's fairly, it's plausible, right?
There's some evidence they tried once.
There's been, I thought two. We've had two assassination attempts.
Well, no, the second guy, you can't
Let's-
call it an attempt because they found him outside the gates, and
Okay.
he just happened to be a gun
Give me
freak.
1.5.
All right, I'll give you 1.5.
Okay.
I'm not even going to give you the one. That was a gong show, Chris.
Yeah, and it killed a guy too.
It did kill, yeah, but it
Kenny, the
wasn't,
bullet missed him by.
Chris, it wasn't an effort made by a professional kill team. If whoever
I think the
Joe's
next one will be.
okay, whoever Joe is referring to as them or they, if they put together a team, he would be gone.
Well, you got about 2 months to worry about it.
Those are dark thoughts, Mr.
They really
Mr.
are.
Sherry.
They really are.
Wouldn't expect that from you.
Yeah, but I'm terribly puzzled. By the way,
It's a
there's-
sign of the times, correct?
Yeah, there's 87 counties in Minnesota. Trump won 78 of them. If RFK wasn't on the ballot in Minnesota, and his votes presumably would have gone to Trump, Trump would have won, well, I don't know, 85 counties, 83 counties.
You're presuming they would have gone to Trump, but that is a fascinating stat.
Now you have Governor Goo coming back, and he's got to put the camouflage hat on the shelf. I doubt if he's been humbled or humiliated. He's going to come back now to govern. And when you look at the numbers and you look at the colors on the map, he essentially is governing for 9 counties. He's not governing the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, we've known that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the feeling you get out
He's
here.
governing Hennepin, Ramsey, Dakota, Anoka,
Olmsted.
the Arrowhead. He's governing,
Is that Rochester? Rochester's Olmsted County, right?
yeah, he's governing about 9 counties. There are 87 counties in the state. And will he be smart enough to have been humbled by this experience to realize people aren't buying the Harris-Walz BS?
Oh, God, I can predict what he's saying. We've been invigorated and motivated to work even harder and double down on our goals to make Minnesota fill in the blank. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to make Minnesota not what it
Right,
is.
right. No, I think this will inspire him to work harder.
I am serious when I wonder how long does he get to keep all of this help? Because I would send it to Trump. I guess he got home last night at 10 o'clock.
Just in time for the news.
Yeah. And you had people unloading luggage and the whole deal. And I'm sure the spotlights were on. And
Did he and Gwen turn the page?
I think so. I think they better.
That was nice of him.
Let's just close the book.
All right.
Voting for the 2024 Center of the American Experiment's Golden Turkey